Lexie Hull, Sophie Cunningham announced decision around Caitlin Clark's off-season plans. The Trace Leches were all the rage this WNBA season. The trio of Sophie Cunningham, Lexie Hull, and Caitlin Clark earned that nickname during the course of the season because of their on- and off-court chemistry. Initially, only the fans used this nickname for the trio, but it gained greater legitimacy when Sophie Cunningham wore a custom-made pre-game fit with Trace Leches written on it. It was a white t-shirt featuring caricatures of her, Clark, and Hull. The famed trio is set to unite at Caitlin Clark's return to sports, the Onica Pro-Am, which is slated for November 12. Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham will serve as celebrity caddies for Caitlin Clark. They'll be joined by two-time Olympic gold medalist Brianna Scurry and NASCAR driver Carson Hocevar. Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull will serve as celebrity caddies during the Wednesday Pro-Am at the Onica driven by Gainbridge at Pelican, announced the official account. Sophie Cunningham replied with smirking face. The pairing started playfully on Instagram. At Caitlin Clark 22 need a couple of caddies. At Lexie Hull smirking face clinking beer mugs. Cunningham wrote under the Indiana Fever's post of Clark Pro-Am return. To this, Hull responded, "At Sophie and sign us up." It feels like the Indiana Fever and the Pro-Am heard them while making this happen. As partners with the Indiana Fever, we look forward to welcoming Caitlin's teammates Sophie and Lexie to Tampa Bay to elevate and shine a spotlight on women's sports. Mike Nichols, Group 1001 Chief of Sponsorship Strategy and Activation, said in the release. If you are unaware of golf terms like caddy, let me break it down for you. A caddy supports the player with the bag, yardages, and strategy. So expect Hull and Cunningham to keep Clark loose and locked in. Hull and Clark actually competed in a friendly contest at a driving range last year. Hull won the first round at the time, but Clark took the second. However, in an off-season match on an actual course, Caitlin took the win. Earlier this year, Hull was also spotted teaching mid-season Fever edition Chloe Bibby the proper technique for the sport. In any case, the trio will be vibing at the Onica Pro-Am, representing Indiana Fever and elevating women's sports. Cunningham is the off-season queen so far, as she also appeared at the NASCAR weekend in Phoenix. The off-season spotlight shifts from fairways to foul lines. Cunningham brought focus to how the W can balance its trademark edge with tighter control. Sophie Cunningham calls for reform after Caitlin Clark's injury-plagued year. The excessive physicality in the WNBA has long been part of the conversation. That escalated after Caitlin Clark arrived last year. Many thought the physicality on Clark was even more intense than the league average, including Cunningham. I know the talks Phoenix had in their locker room of like, "We're going to show her what the W really is," Cunningham said. I get it to a certain extent. Every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But there's just more for her. That probably affected and had some correlation to Clark's injury-ridden 2025, where she played only 13 games. Clark is recovering from multiple soft tissue injuries. Beyond Clark, Hull was the victim of multiple hits throughout the season and particularly the playoffs. At one point she was playing with a black eye. Referring to the 2025 season, Cunningham said that the rulebook must accommodate the new era of basketball. I think that when it comes to maybe the physicality around the league, maybe it was a little bit too much. I think that what's considered a foul in the rulebook maybe needs to change a little bit. Because the rest always kind of go back like, well, this is what it is in the handbook, and so this is why we call it, Cunningham said on the Show Me Something podcast. In the NBA, defenders cannot stay in the lane for more than 3 seconds without actively guarding an opponent. That opens driving lanes and reduces constant crowding around the rim. The NBA's defensive 3-second and stricter freedom of movement enforcement make the game flow better. The W often feels scrappier due to different spacing. While Cunningham admits that physicality could be integrated into the league, she thinks it could be controlled better.